AI is a very wide topic, and there's lots and lots to read about it on the internet. So what I've done is I've narrowed down on very few relevant information, a few research, which I have done extensively over the last 12 to 18 months. I'm going to share with you. And of course, these things wouldn't come straight flowing out of their mind because there's too much of data involved, as you know how AI is cluttered this time. So I have noted a few points down, and don't mind me looking down to recollect those points and sharing it with you. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Subhash. So 3 months ago, I was sitting in a boardroom with the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, a $12 billion company, planning to invest about 80 million into AI across operations, product development, IT, human resources, and supply chain, and all the support functions as well. So the CEO asked me a direct question. And I think every CHRO in this room should be answering that question. He asked me, if we are deploying AI across every function in the organization, why should the HR be leading it? Shouldn't the CTO be leading that? That's a question he asked me. And I would like all of us to reflect on that question today, because this question is going to be very, very relevant and very important as to deciding the future of human resources in time to come. My answer changed not how the organization looked at human resources in itself, but how the board looked at strategic leadership. Okay. And here's what I told him, and I'm going to tell you exactly the same thing. I told him, listen, the question itself is wrong. The question itself is wrong. It's not about what HR can contribute to the AI transformation. It's about HR architecting how 10,000 people in your organization are going to get involved with AI across different functions and adding the real value to the organization. And for this, CTO, with all due respects, wouldn't be the right person to do. A human resource professional is the ultimate champion who can take this forward. Today, I'm going to prove to you that you must become the chief architects of how AI reshapes work in your organization. Not because we understand algorithms, but because we understand how to design systems that amplify human potential while maintaining dignity, ethics, and trust. At the end of this session, you will have 4 battle-tested frameworks. And when I say battle-tested, these are time and tested by yours truly. One is the triple transformation model, which you can see on the top left quadrant, understanding what's actually changing. 2, the intelligence infrastructure maturity model, knowing where you are and where you're trapped. 3, the AI governance triad, engineering ethics into every deployment. And 4, the 90-day architecture sprint, your implementation roadmap starting tomorrow. More importantly, you will face a choice. Will you be disrupted by this transformation, or are you going to architect it? This is a very important question, gentlemen. According to a McKinsey research in 2024, okay, it's been going on since a long time, but 2024, they came up with this beautiful research where they said 73% of the organizations have embedded AI in at least one of their functions. Sounds impressive, right? But please look at this red line. Out of 73%, only 8% have scaled impact across multiple functions. Think about that ratio. 73% have AI, and only 8% are creating real value. The gap between adoption and value realization is enormous. Of course, we can see here. And it's not a technology gap. It's a leadership gap. Gartner reveals that about 40% of the CHROs feel unprepared to lead AI transformation. How many of us sitting in this room are confident as CHROs or as HR professionals that we would be confident in leading AI transformation across our organization? Leaders responsible for workforce strategy admit they lack readiness for this moment. Yeah? And while we are unprepared, PwC went and did a research, and they came up with an astonishing figure. About $15.7 trillion is a contribution of AI to the global economy by 2030. That's the combined GDP of India and China. Again, an MIT research indicates that only 23% of firms using generative AIs have received any guidance on ethical usage of AI. Think about what's happening in your organization right now. Your sales teams are using ChatGPT to draft client proposals, feeding competitive information and competitive intelligence into the AI unscrupulously. Your engineers are using GitHub in Copilot to write the codes without understanding its implications. Your financial analysts are using AI to build financial models without bias testing. Your marketing teams are using Mid-Journey for their campaigns without brand governance. Your operations managers are using AI to optimize schedules without consulting the affected people. All at massive scales, all without governance, and all without any ethical framework. And where is HR? HR is on the sideline. The readiness gaps vary by the region, as you can see. North America at 62%, Europe at 48%, GCC, that's the Middle East and adjoining countries, at 41%, and the APAC region at 38%. So here is your opportunity, gentlemen. Organizations in the GCC and APAC can leapfrog by building architecture correctly from the start. Why? Because HR understands the socio-technical system, not just the technology. The question facing every organization: will your CHRO architect this transformation or be sidelined? On the left, you can see a very disrupted environment. If you don't catch up now, as HR professionals, gentlemen, you're going to be sidelined. You have an option to take the lead, to transform, to lead the AI transformation in your organization and become the architects of this transformation and lead it from the front, adding a fantastic value to the organization and its ROI. To answer the question about value addition, we need to understand what's transforming, right? It's three simultaneous shifts. I would request you all to pay focus and attention on these three transformation models. Okay? This explains why most AI initiatives fail. Because they focus on one transformation and neglect the other two at any given point. If you advance one without the others, you don't just get partial value, you actually get a negative value. You start automating dysfunction. So the transformation number one is from tools to architecture. Most organizations are in the tool accumulation mode. Sales is buying AI forecasting, operations is buying optimization, product is buying developmental tools, finance is buying analytics. Each independent, each of them creating AI islands. Architecture is different. Leading organizations build an intelligence layer connecting customer insights, operational data, financial forecasts, and workforce capabilities. So what's important is how you have a unified layer of data talking to each other, all these independent silos of AI tools working together as one ecosystem, contributing to the real workflow and the value chain of the organization. That's what is important. To give you an example, a Fortune 500 manufacturer had AI in production, supply chain, and sales. Each of them were isolated. After re-architecturing, quality AI started feeding logistics AI. And it started informing about the forecasts. And that started informing the workforce updation. One insight triggers optimization across various other AI islands. What's the result? The ROI increased from 3.2x to 17x in 18 months. Now let's go to the transformation 2, which is from headcount to ecosystems. In a traditional approach, we would ask, how many FTEs would we need? Or how many full-time equivalents do we need? In an AI-enabled environment, we would be asking, what combination of human expertise, AI capabilities, and intelligent systems create optimal value? We are not looking at headcounts anymore. The human resources are no more interested in filling headcounts. We are looking at capabilities, we are looking at human expertise to add value to the organization. A technology company re-architected their 2,500-person sales organization. Before, they had a 35% time on admin and 40% time on client engagement. After AI handles the admin, humans own the strategic relationships. The results after 18 months were astonishing. They said we had 0 layoffs, 18% were promoted to strategic roles, and the productivity grew by 43%. Amazing figures, isn't it? Let's go to the third transformation model, which is the shift or the change from being facilitators to the architects. Believe you me, this is the hardest phase. HR must design the blueprint for how humans and AI collaborate into sales, operations, product, and all the support functions everywhere. Architecting decision rights, governance structures, and value creation models that do not exist as yet. All three must advance together in synchronization. Transform workforce without leadership transformation, and you will get a zero authority to scale. Develop leadership without architecting technology, it's aspiration without execution. Now let me show you where you are in this journey. Makes sense? The dots keep increasing and in the most structured way as you move from level 0 to level 4. Let me walk you through this. The intelligence infrastructure maturity model helps you assess where you are and, of course, where you're stuck. Level 0, no AI integration. 12% of the organizations across the US and an astonishing 46% of the organizations across the globe today have zero AI. Level 1 is the pilot tools, isolated functions, no integration. They all are in silos. People are using certain tools in certain areas, maybe in sales, few in HR, recruitment, etc. About 45% are there. Level 3 are the scaled tools. Multiple tools, but limited integration. So many of the departments or the functions in the organizations have AI, but they are not talking to each other. They operate in silos. And they are at level 2, what we call the scaled tools. So now, most of you by now would have realized that you fit comfortably in these 3 boxes. And congratulations to those who see themselves in level 3 and level 4. So the level 3 and 4 are the integrated models, where it graduates on to become more intelligent as we proceed. So the level 3 integration is the connected systems, creating network effects, and the intelligent model
is a full architecture with autonomous optimization. 73% of the organizations are stuck at levels 1 and 2, and strategic value emerges at level 3 and beyond. The difference is dramatic. All right. So let me accelerate a bit and go ahead. Let me show you the 3 architect roles human resources must own to lead this AI transformation. So what you see on the screen is the HR strategic mandate, the 3 roles that human resources can play: the design intelligence infrastructure, build hybrid workforce models, and engineer ethical AI governance. So we saw in the previous slide from the model 0 to model 4, or the level 0 to level 4, to move from tool accumulation to an architectural leadership, CHROs must own 3 specific roles. 1, design intelligence infrastructure. 2 is to build the hybrid workforce, and 3 is to have ethical governance. Let's discuss this one by one. Designing an intelligent infrastructure. There are many examples, by the way, very interesting, but I think due to efficiency of time, I shall be skipping these examples and moving straight ahead to what we can build. As you can see, architect, role number 1, design intelligence infrastructure. So integrate diverse data streams and expert knowledge systems to create a unified intelligence operations foundation. This is the core of any AI transformation, ladies and gentlemen, that your systems should be talking to each other, and it should not be available as silos to you, because that's of no real value addition. Design decision right frameworks. So how many of you are experienced in creating LOAs and DOAs in your organization? Okay. The limits of authority and the delegation of authority matrices. When you start doing that, and I'm sure quite a few of you would have done that in your organization, but what's more important is now to create an AI framework which in itself has these LOAs and DOAs. Who does what, and who has the authority to approve what in your organization. Today, the LOAs and DOAs are virtually non-existent in many of the companies. Right now, you may not feel this impact, but as technology progresses, in another couple of years, you will see this having devastating effects if it's not governed in the right way. And the third point is to build the learning ecosystems. AI is capable of learning itself. But as humans, are we capable of learning from AI? Or we just copy and paste and move on? That's the question. So the bottom line here is to build foundational systems for human AI collaboration at scale. Right? So this is your role, number 2. I'm going to explain this later as well. Build hybrid workforce models across all functions. I've come up with this equation, gentlemen. H plus AI plus IS. Human expertise plus artificial intelligence plus intelligence systems take you through what do you call the workforce 2.0. All right? All these elements hold equal importance. As I mentioned before, if you are going to focus on one, the other two will start automating dysfunction in your organization. It's so important to focus on all the 3 and then take your organization forward. All right. To give you an example, sales, AI handles admin, research, humans own relationships. As I mentioned, the strategic relationships. In operations, AI predicts issues, humans handle strategy and exceptions. In product development, AI assists in coding and testing, humans focus on the architecture and the UX. Finance, AI gathers, analyzes data, humans interpret it strategically. The consistent pattern is automate routine cognitive tasks, augment complex cognitive tasks, and elevate human work to relationship, creativity, and strategy. Again, more examples for efficiency of time. I'm going to skip it through. Most of us are waiting for lunch. But this is a deep example I would like to cover. Just spend a minute on this. Please have a look at how a traditional model and a hybrid model has shown the impact. In a traditional model, the workforce spent 35% on its administrative tasks, just about 25% on research. The client engagement was 40%. But when you combine it with AI, and the AI takes over your routine cognitive tasks and handling administrative work, you have 65% of your time available for strategic client engagement. So the sales productivity went up by 43%. Average deal size grew by 28% because the analysis was so perfect. The prediction was so fantastic. The forecasting was excellent, or rather much, much better than what a human would do with this limited available time. The revenue per employee in any organization, ladies and gentlemen, the cost per employee and the revenue per employee are the basic pulse of your health, right? So when you start talking these terminologies as HR, this is where you're going to add value to the P&L of your organization, and the CEO is going to be more interested in hearing out what you have to say. So the revenue per employee has risen by 47%. And unlike we all fear, AI is not going to take away jobs, it's going to elevate your job. And there was a zero headcount reduction. So you see here, this is again thanks to AI, it's developed this beautiful image for me, for all of us to see how it integrates various functions in the organization along with the human brain, and how we are able to achieve the maximum and add ROI to the business. Some more deep case studies, all self-explanatory. It's all from Fortune 500, evidence, hands-proved. ROI increases from 3.2x to 17x in 18 months, as I mentioned before. In a technology company, productivity increased 43%. In a retail store, 340% churn in prediction accuracy. So now we go to the third role, right? The second one was what we saw, the hybrid. This is the third role, engineer ethical AI governance. As a CHRO, it's very, very important that you start governing how AI is accepted, implemented, and executed in your organization. This is very, very crucial, gentlemen. Today you will see that starting from the lowest rung of employee, even to the C-level, you will find people having logged on to all these AI tools, LLMs, agentic AI, but none of them are governed. Have you ever analyzed what's the risk to the data of your organization? Have you felt what would happen today if ChatGPT made all your queries public? You'd get the shock of your life when you receive an email about your history with your ChatGPT, isn't it? What we need is an absolutely strong and fundamentally robust AI governance structure. All right. So algorithmic fairness, that's a financial services company discovered that AI credit scoring systematically denied loans to qualified applicants from certain postal codes. It's not the algorithm. Historical data always have bias. AI learns it and AI amplifies it. So please, when you're using AI, don't go blindly by it. It starts generating, depending on its bias, its own experiential learning. When we have a governance system, it must address this bias. There is a transparency and explainability. The decision logic should be visible. The audit trails should be available, and there should be an appeals process. So let me quickly take you through this for the next 2 minutes and wind up, as I'm getting these notifications that we have gone past the time. These are the key reasons for your technological failures or why AI transformation failed in your organization. Skill gap, pilot purgatory, technology-first approach, and the vacuum in the governance. So the HR operating system of 2030 would have 4 capabilities: predictive intelligence, personalized experience, autonomous operations, and ethics advantage. I'm available to discuss each of these at length. If you have a 90-day architectural sprint, this is how it should be. You can reach me out. I can share these sprints with you. Quick wins for your first 30 days. So as I mentioned before, ladies and gentlemen, as HR professionals, this is your defining moment. Either you get into it, the act, take the leadership, own AI transformation, and have an intelligence design for your system, or you get disrupted and go into irrelevance and fade away from the oblivion slowly. So these are the recap of the 4 battle-tested frameworks which I showed earlier. Thank you all for lending me your ears. I'm available on LinkedIn. You can always connect with me. As I said, there's lots to cover, but the time is quite short, and I know even the patience wears away after a while, right? Thank you for hearing me out. Thank you all, and thank you. Thank you.